Ito ang Broad Cast Communicators, ang naiiba at kakaibang plataforma sa digital broadcast. Mula Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao hanggang sa iba't ibang dako ng mundo. Broad Stream Cast Communicators, ang sandigan ng sambayanan mula sa walang labis at walang kulang na pagbabalita, paglilingkod, maglalahad ng mga mapagbuong komentaryo at usaping pambayan para sa kapakanan ng karamihan. Broad Stream Cast Communicators, tuwirang maglilingkod ngayon hanggang sa susunod na henerasyon. Ang sinumang lingkod bayan ay may tungkulin na pinanumpaan. Nanumpa na maglilingkod ng buong puso batay sa tanggapan na kanyang pamumunuan. Bago ang lahat, mamamayan muna. Ito ang palatuntunang maglalahad ng mga tuwirang impormasyon upang magsilbing gabay ng ating mga nanunungkulan saan mang tanggapan ng pamahalaan para sa kapakanan ng mamamayan. Bago ang lahat, mamamayan muna. Maglalatag ng mga naangkop na payo para sa lahat ng mamamayan na umaasam ng tunay na pagbabago at kaginhawaan sa buhay. Bago ang lahat, mamamayan muna. At ngayon, narito ang inyong lingkod, Cora Alma De Leon.
Magandang hapon muli sa inyo. Alam nyo na every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, I ask the people to please like and share our live video and our FB page, Broad Stream Cast Communicators. You can also follow me on Facebook at Cora Alma De Leon. At kung gusto ninyong may mga suggestions kayo, you may also contact me at 0918-912-3546. Of course, I'm not alone in this program. Kasama natin si Dr.Reymund Arcega. Mukhang nasa kasasakyan pa siya, moving, no? And then our special guest, real friend, Dr. Georgina Encanto. Mamaya, we will really have a very, very interesting interview sa kanya. Pero katulad ng dati, ginagawa natin, with the I want to see, to do with strength and wisdom, all that needs to be done, and become the hope that I can be. Set me free from my fears and hesitations, grant me the courage and humility, fill me with spirit to face the challenge, and start the change I long to see. Even if I'm not the light, I can be the spark in faith, service. At katulad ng dati, ako ay nanunumpa sa watawat. Ako ay Pilipino, buong katapatang nanunumpa sa watawat ng Pilipinas at sa bansang kanyang sinasagisag, na may dangal, katarungan at kalayaan na pinakikilos ng sambayan ng makadiyos, makakalikasan, makatao at makabansa.
Panunumpa ng kawani ng gobyerno. Ako'y kawani ng gobyerno, tungkulin ko ang maglingkod ng tapat at mahusay. Dahil dito, ako'y papasok ng maaga at magtatrabaho ng lampas sa takdang oras kung kinakailangan. Pagsisilbi ako ng magalang at mabilis sa lahat na nangangailangan. Pangangalagaan ko ang mga gamit, kasangkapan at iba pang pag-aari ng pamahalaan. Magiging pantay at makatarungan ang pakikitungo ko sa mga lumalapit sa aming tanggapan. Pagsasalita ako laban sa mga katiwalian at pagsasamantala, hindi ko gagamitin ang aking panunungkulan sa sarili kong kapakanan. Hindi ako hihingi o tatanggap ng suhol. Sisikapin kong madagdagan ang aking talino at kakayahan upang ang antas ng paglilingkod sa bayan ay patuloy na maitaas, sapagkat ako'y kawani ng gobyerno at tungkulin ko ang maglingkod ng tapat at mahusay sa bayan ko. At sa panahong ito, ako at aking kapwa kawani ay kailangan tungo sa isang maunlad, masagana at mapayapang Pilipinas. Sa harap ninyong lahat, ako'y taus-pusong nanunumpa.
Thank you very much, Dr. Reymund Arcega. On the road ka pa, binabasa mo na yung panunumpa. Ngayon naman, babasahin ko yung sinulat ko kanina. Today is Thursday. Today we continue to reflect on our continuing thirst for truth. Every day in our morning program, 9 o'clock, Issue 101, we dwell on the events happening around us by reflecting on the news and interviewing the people behind the news. Why? Because we have a solemn duty to be truth tellers, and so the search and thirst continues. Today, we are fortunate, kaninang umaga yon, na we were able to interview DOSC Secretary to share the events, the accomplishments shared to our listeners. We continue to thirst for truth in the government and even those who continue to be advocates of truth. We don't have the monopoly of ideas, but we can continue to be seekers of meaning. So today, we commit ourselves to continue the thirst for truth to enable us to be truth tellers. So, patutugtugin naman natin ngayon yung talagang mahalagang kanta na Yan ang Pilipino para welcoming song natin dito sa ating programa.
Naiiba, natatangi, alamin ang mga ginintuang katangian ng ating dakilang lahi.
Iba-ibang ating pinagmulahan, sa iisang bayang sinilangan. Mga islang biyaya sa pinagpala, likha ng isang Diyos o bathala. Tinataglay ang dakilang yaman, sa ating binigay ang perlas ng silangan. Gintong lupa't karagatan, kay gandang kalikasan, ito'y sasagipin pangangalagaan.
Yan ang Pilipino, mapalad ang lahing ito, likas ang talino, kailangan ng mundo ang Pilipino. Mapagmahal ang lahi ko, may tapang malasakit, kaming mga Pilipino. Mapalad ang lahing ito, likas ang talino, payabungin natin to, ang Pilipino. Mapagmahal ang lahi ko, masipag malikhain, yan ang Pilipino. Halo-halo man ang ating ibig, iisa pa rin ang ating lahi.
Katotohanan ng kalooban, ating isabuhay. Ako, ikaw, tayo'y magmahalan.
Yan ang Pilipino, mapalad ang lahing ito, likas ang talino, kailangan ng mundo ang Pilipino. Mapagmahal ang lahi ko, ay tapang malasakit, kaming mga Pilipino. Mapalad ang lahing ito, likas ang talino, payabungin natin ko ang Pilipino. Mapagmahal ang lahi ko, masipag malikhain, yan ang Pilipino.
Talagang nakakapagbagdanggamin ng kanta na ito. Kaya naman para nating may laganap ang kanta na ito. Salamat kay Sonia Rojo na pinagamit sa atin ang kantang ito. Sisimulan natin kasi gusto natin talagang mabuo yung 40 half an hour interview na with Dr. Georgina Encanto at natutuwa tayo na pinagbigyan niya tayo. Pero lahat naman kami homebound. Diba? So, sisimulan muna
Tama.
natin ng gusto kong malaman ng mga nakikinig sa atin, talagang malalim ang narating na ni Georgie, hindi lang sa University of the Philippines, pero mismo sa kanilang community sa La Vista. So I asked her the first question, and sabi ko, paki-share mo naman kung ano yung kung ang tawag ko nga doon then and now. Ano ka noon at ano ka ngayon. So maybe you can tell a little bit about yourself, your family, where you came from. Because I met some of your family members already, no? And then of course your children. So take it away, Georgie.
Okay. Mabuti hindi mo sinabi, Sonia, napakahaba na ang naraanan ko. Kasi parang then and now, parang ang haba-haba. But anyway, parang gusto ko mas maikli lang to para we can discuss more yung mga iba mo pag gusto itanong. But let me just say na I'm a Manilena. My father was born in Batangas, so Batangueño siya. My mother was from Manila, and we grew up here. We were 5, but my eldest brother passed away, so there were four of us here. 2 of us here and 2 in the U.S. And I was married to Mervin Encanto, a lawyer, president of Integrated Bar of the Philippines, and of Law Asian, the corporate lawyer also. And he passed away in 2007. We have 3 daughters. He used to say, I have 3 daughters and 4 girls, including me. So I have 3 daughters, and one of them is here with me, Melissa, the eldest, a lawyer married to another lawyer, and they have 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. And then I have a daughter in London, Katrina, married to a poet and also a creative director, E.J. Galang, and they have 1 son named Hugo. And the 3rd daughter is in Singapore, married to How Reggie, Miko How. And she is a marketing expert, who works for the Meatless Farm because she's vegetarian. And the Meatless Farm is a company based in ING, while How is vice president for ING in Singapore. And they are based there. So that's my family. And of course, as I said, I have my siblings here. Val Reyes and Isa and their children. And my sister is in Pittsburgh, and my brother, a former ambassador of the Philippines to Italy, is in New York. So let's say, what can I say? Well, I've been teaching for a long time. You know, I was a teacher for 34 years, first in the English department of UP because I studied English. I come from a family of English majors. My grandmother was an English major. She taught in FEU. My mother was an English major. She taught in speech communication, first in the English department, then speech communication and theater arts. My older sister was an English major. I don't know why we didn't consider anything but being an English major. So
may proclivity to English.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm not like the young people now who go into IT or who go into
Uh,
visual design,
yeah.
architecture, and they have so many choices. So that's it. And I retired in 2011, and then taught for another year, and then I became regent of the University of the Philippines for about 18 months. And now I'm active mostly in the community. I am editor of the La Vista newsletter. And recently, I started a project called Binhi, which involves planting endangered and rare native trees of the Philippines, or trees that are endemic to the Philippines. And we want to make La Vista a sanctuary for these trees. We entered into a MOA with Energy Development Corporation, owned by the Lopezes, and they have this Binhi, a 10-year project to plant such trees with the partners in universities, LGUs, NGOs. There are 183 partners, and La Vista is the 182nd partner, and we are the first subdivision to earn that honor of being a partner of Binhi. And we have already planted a number of trees, maybe about 50 trees in one of our parks, the Bago Park. And sometime in May, we have to plant more trees so that these trees can be propagated in our various parks, as well as even ultimately in the premises of the lots of La Vista residents who would like to plant a native tree.
Yeah.
So that's it. I
Ac-
mean, it's
uh,
very busy aside from my taking care also of my the apostolate, as you call it. I have three apostles here: Miguel, who is 7, Diego, who is 3, going on 4, and Andy, who is 2 and about 3 months.
Wow, ang galing naman. You are surrounded with children and
Oh yes,
lawyers
right.
dahil your daughter and son-in-law. Kaya dapat
Uh-huh.
hindi ka magkakakaso. Ha?
Tama.
No
Kasi
case.
ayaw ko na ng kaso.
Dahil pero kung magkakaso ka, wala ka ng problema kasi meron ka ng
Oo nga
lawyers
eh.
and Oo.
Yeah, but
Anyway, andiyan na si
yeah.
Raymond. Ano muna yung pinapauna kong magtanong si Raymond dahil
Okay.
siya ay talagang a very curious person at saka very provocative. Marami siyang tinatanong na ayaw sagutin ng mga ini-interview. Go ahead, Raymond.
Oo.
Una't higit sa lahat, isa pong karangalan, Dr. Encanto, na makasama po namin kayo ngayong hapon sa programang ito para sa bayan at para sa mga mamamayan. Ang dahilan po kaya ako nasa kalye ngayon ay inasikaso po ako kasi para bukas ang aming pong culminating activity, yung International Women's Month. At
Okay.
kanina po, pinapakinggan po kayo. Nanghihinayang po ako, sana kayo po bukas ang aming keynote speaker kasi andun na po yung kwento ninyo sa inyong mga anak, sa inyong mga apo. So siguro po, gusto ko pong i-focus yung aking unang tanong, Dr. Encanto, no? Sa
Oo.
inyong halimbawa bilang isang babaeng Pilipina. Ano po ang sekreto ng isang Dr. Encanto at ngayon ay makikita natin sa inyong aura, no? Yung kakontentuhan sa buhay, sa profesyon, at ganun din sa pagiging lola. Narinig ko po kanina, kayo po ay lola na sa inyong mga apo. Pwede niyo po maibahagi bilang selebrasyon, no, ng ating International Women's Month, no? Ano po ang inyong masasabi, no, bilang isang babaeng Pilipina, no, nakasama sa selebrasyon ngayong buwan na ito po, Dr. Encanto?
Okay. Masasabi ko na sa buhay ko, masasabi ko na been there, done that. Ang pangalan ko Encanto. And I think maswerte ako kasi Encanto ako. Dahil ang daming maliit yung mga anak ko, may parati silang sinasabihan ng daddy nila, huwag kayong matatakot kasi Encanto kayo. Maski anong mangyari sa inyo, huwag kayong matakot. So in my case naman, masasabi ko na maswerte ako kasi yung aking pamilya, alam mo talagang binigyan nilang diin ay edukasyon. Kami parang middle class family kami, and my parents were a struggling couple kasi yung mami ko at daddy ko, biro mo kinasal sila 14 and 17. Tapos my dad was a struggling newspaperman. And dahil doon, ang nanay ko, hindi siya pwede magtrabaho, hindi siya pwede magturo dahil kailangan niya kaming alagaan. Iisa lang yung kasama namin sa bahay. Kaya sabi nila yung mother is always the pilot. The mother is the one who keeps the home going, the one who nurtures children. At saka therefore, she wielded so much influence on us. She taught us how to read books. We always had books. Yun ang mga regalo niya sa amin pag Christmas. Or kung hindi, mga simpleng mga bagay like magic slate, o kung hindi, mga games, ganon. So, may kanya-kanya kaming magazine. My brother had, I don't know, parang Digest. Tapos my sister had We Wisdom. Parang this was a Protestant magazine, I think, in the States. And then I had Humpty Dumpty. And then she taught us to recite poems. Parang all of us had poems. My eldest brother had as his poem yung Burton's Curtains. It's about a man who, cannot hang curtains. And so his wife is so exasperated with him. The opening line was, "Anyone can hang a curtain," said Mr. Burton. Yung pala, di naman niya kaya to hang a curtain, And then my mom was coaching my brother. Parang he had to cry. And then hindi siya makaiyak. Nanonood kami, sabi namin ganun. Parang ayun na naalala namin sa aming mga childhood memories. My sister naman, she had her own poem, Annabelle. Ako, "Oh Captain, my Captain." And then my brother naman, yung Invictus, complete with gestures. Kasi speech teacher yung mami ko. Kaya parang ganon ang exposure namin. Tapos parang bata pa lang ako na napakinggan ko yung Midsummer Night's Dream on 78 RPM. Yung malaking plaka, yung ganon. Tapos dinadala niya kami sa mga sine. Dinadala niya kami sa Great Expectations. I think I watched that in Universal on Rizal Avenue. Sinasama niya kami. Kasi, parang my dad was busy working and putting copy editing sa Manila Chronicles, Aduana, ganon. So, dinadala niya kami. Kasi minsan nakakakuha kaming passes para pumunta sa mga sine, ganon. And then, after that, parang we would go to my father's office to fetch him. And then, we would go out for a midnight snack. And then my dad, parang even though they were a struggling couple, they gave us the best education possible. They sent us to good schools like my St. Teresa's College, Ateneo. My brother went to Paco Catholic School, and he was the valedictorian of his school. So they gave us the best opportunities possible, and I think it continued up to you. We had to go to UP and no other school but UP. So parang hindi nga ako kinausap nung principal ng St. Teresa's when she found out I was going to UP. Sabi niya, you will lose your soul. So 2 weeks she did not talk to me. But later on, I was able to visit her in Belgium. She's already 80 plus, going on 90. And she said, "It's just as well you went to UP." So, parang masasabi ko na, parang we were given the best opportunities. And of course, I credit my husband, Mr. Encanto, for giving me my family name because he taught me unconditional love and he gave me all the support I could possibly need to make a success of myself. I think if I became Dean of the College of Mass Communication and later on Regent, it might have been with a lot of help from Mr. Encanto, Attorney Encanto, and his friends. And so that's why I say I have led an enchanted life.
Yeah. You had even an event, di ba? In honor of your husband. We attended that in UP. I remember.
Yes.
No?
Oo.
What was
Oo.
it was a celebrity
Of his
spirit.
10th death anniversary.
Oo.
But
Ang
because
ganda ng
yeah,
concert na yun. And then of course, nakita ko din yung mga parents natin na talagang emphasis on education. Kaya
Correct.
my father was so strict with my brother, bumagsak
Mhm.
lang ng isang subject, alis na kagad sa UP. And he
Ah,
had to spend
oo.
time, di muna siya pinag-aral, ginawa siyang
Mm.
driver ng father ko
Ah,
para to earn, to
tama.
feel the hard way because he was so young when he went to UP first year
Oo.
college. But
Yes.
all of us, apat kaming all girls, we all went to UP. Kaya
Mm.
yung UP spirit is nandoon. Kaya hindi mawawala yun. But the other
Tama.
part na gusto ko ding makita, no, is that, of course, sabi nga natin, meron tayong part tayo of a community, part tayo of the things that we believe in, and if we are unhappy, we express our unhappiness, di ba?
Mm.
Sinasabi natin, even at the cost of reactions or, strong reactions. Kaya pag ganon, na it will already be build a case, ang nangyayari, o sige, wag na lang natin pag-usapan kasi it will
Aha.
just, kumbaga, lalalim ang problema. So,
Correct.
nakita ko lang ngayon, you of course maintain, may mga groups ka, I am sure that you still see, of course, before the pandemic, and even through groups na virtual, nakakausap mo. Right now, kaya ang tinanong ko sa iyo, yung here and now, bukod dun sa plants, yung binhi, bukod dun sa ano pa yung nakita mo dapat mangyari talaga sa community, sa government natin, yung ang tingin ko doon parang sense mo of, we usually, and ang word namin dito ni Raymond, ano yung hope for the future natin. Pero siguro, malayo pa naman tayo doon sa future na yon. Pero ano yung nakikita mo na hindi dapat mangyari? Kasi ako, convinced ako na priority ng presidente yung drug abuse at saka corruption, and parang hindi pa nga na-skirt ang surface. Yung mga priorities ng government,
Mm.
parang i-impose sa bansa. Pero hindi naman nagagawa dahil walang capacity na sundan yung mga gusto ng administration. What can you say about that, Georgie?
Well, first of all, I want to say that, you know, we deserve good government. But
Yes.
good government also involves
Mm-mm.
active participants. The citizens must participate in whatever way we can to solve our problems. And now, because of this lockdown, parang a lot of it has to be done from home.
Yeah.
And a lot of it has to be done in our community. Kasi, unang-una, dapat sumunod tayo dun sa mga, mga sinasuggest ng scientists, ng doctors, no, about our COVID situation. But at the same time, it doesn't mean na, dahil sa bahay tayo, wala na tayong pwedeng gawin.
Yeah.
Especially with Zoom, no? Or with our community, within our community, pwede namang meron pa rin gawin na para makatulong tayo, hindi lang tayo reklamo ng reklamo, pero mag-isip tayo. We have to think out of the box. Ano ang pwede nating gawin, no? And gusto kong ibahagi itong aking concern with reading. Kasi, syempre, I'm very concerned as a communicator, no, with reading and especially with what is happening in education. Kasi malaking crisis ito na, we can not have our usual classes or mga in-person gatherings. So I'm very concerned about the ranking of the Philippines, in a survey conducted by the Program for International Student Assessment. This came out in 2018, no? This PISA, or Program for International Student Assessment, is an assessment of student capabilities, no? By the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, or OECD, which is based in Paris. It's conducted every 3 years. And in 2018, the last PISA assessment, the emphasis was on reading. And there were 600 students aged 15 who were included in the survey. 600,000 students in 79 countries, and the results are are very disturbing because
Yeah.
the Philippines ranked 79th in reading. So it was the last out of 79 countries with an average of 340 against the OECD average of 487. And reading was the focus of this year's PISA, as I said. And reading literacy was defined as understanding, using, evaluating, reflecting on, then engaging with texts in order to achieve one's goals, to develop one's knowledge and potential, and to participate in society. So those are very basic. As I was saying, if we are talking about empowering people or enabling them to do something, to survive, to have a job, even to understand instructions, let us say to vote or to apply for any permit or whatever. I mean, they need to be able to read. And so it's very disturbing that we are ranked, we're kulelak, no? How can we? I mean, it was so disturbing because we like to pride ourselves in saying that we have a very high literacy. We're
Yes.
95%, etc. But if 15-year-olds, have this hindrance, I mean, that's
Oh.
very, very disturbing. And then Filipino students also ranked low in mathematics and science with
Mm.
353 points and 357 points respectively against a 489 OECD average for both categories. So parang ano nangyari? I mean, this is something really that we must address. And, our Secretary Briones herself has expressed so much concern about this. And, I think she called several conferences to find a way to address this because
Mm.
uh, this is very bad.
Alarming.
Alarming,
Mm.
correct. Yeah.
Correct ka dyan, ano.
Yeah.
Kasi nung araw, at least, even mga grade school, kami noon,
Mm-mm.
grade 5 kami sa Merinol, meron na kami little library sa likod of the
Mm-mm.
class para we can select already the books we want to read. Plus at the
Mm-mm.
same time, we were divided into class A and B. Yung
Mhm.
mas mataas ang expectation sa reading, B. Yung A,
Mhm.
alam mo, ay, ako sabi ko, ay gusto ko A. Yun pala,
Mhm.
ang A, yung hindi masyadong kailangan pa erase kasi B mas mataas sa A, di ba? So,
Mm-mm.
doon ko na-realize there is a value of putting together the people who are, parang alike and therefore they can pursue, i-raise mo ang level. So, maganda yung
Mhm.
experience ko because
Ah.
transferring from a private school, St. Paul in Parañaque in grade 4 and going to
Mhm.
Merinon in grade 5 na all English speaking. So, natuto ako mag-Ingles. Pero
Mhm.
syempre, marunong pa rin tayo ng Pilipino. Pero babasahin
Mhm.
ko muna, Georgie, yung mga
Okay.
light sa atin. Ano? Si Elsa Bautista Nava, si Mabel Roa, sabi niya, um, happy ka siya sa kay Georgie, looking so radiant, sabi pa.
Oh.
Happy and healthy. Wow, wow. Galing
Ah.
naman. And talagang, sabi niya, indeed she is living an enchanted life. O, tinan mo, sinabi pang enchanted life. Si Annalisa Arcega, nag-greet. Susan B, nag-pleasant afternoon. More power, stay healthy. Si Emilita Bernabe, si Rosary Tirante, Mylene Smile, good afternoon, watching from Santa Cruz. And then, of course, si Mayang Season Pascual. And then Mylene, of course, pasok na. Flor de Lis, Regalado Litana, Armando Laginum, Jinky Iliot, mga regular din na nakikinig sa atin. Kaya siguro, Raymond, you have a follow-up question kasi o follow-up comment kasi nakita ko na malalim talaga yung problema natin tungkol sa education and you represent education in this program that we have na nagtandem tayo dito.
Thank you,
Go ahead.
Secretary. Thank you, Secretary De Leon. No? Kanina po binabanggit ni Dr. Encanto nung bata sila, no? Medyo importante yung edukasyon, no? Narinig ko po kanina na may mga books pang binibili para sa kanila. Pero Doc, ngayon kakaiba na eh. Hindi na books eh, talagang you go straight to Google,
Tama.
no? And to virtual
Yes.
learning. In fact, ngayon po,
Oo.
medyo dito ho ako kinakabahan, Doc, eh, no? Habang iba tinatanggap na ang new normal ay virtual, paano po kaya ito, Dr. Encanto, na virtual? Kasi hindi ho lahat ng lugar ay reliable ang internet, no? Mukhang yung new normal po taliwas dun sa paraan na tinuruan po tayo nung una eh. Ngayon po, bawal lalo na ho sa COVID, no? Bawal ho makipag-usap sa hindi mo kilala. O kahit kilala mo, magulang mo, hindi ka pwedeng lumapit, no? So imagine po
Oo.
natin yung mga bata ngayon, no? Na kung saan ipapanganak at ang kanilang kakamulatan ay isang edukasyon na virtual. Eh di po ba importante yung nakikisocialize ang mga bata para matutunan niya itong mga skills na ito? Ang kaharap niya po ngayon ay isang virtual classroom na lang. No? Ano po bang inyong masasabi dito, ma'am? Batay po sa ating nakikita ngayon at ating naging karanasan nung tayo po'y lumalaki, no? Dr. Encanto po.
Oh, tama yan. Parang we live in a digital age, no? So, hindi na print, hindi na reading lang. At saka, alam mo, gusto ko pa nga i-continue na yung, ang importante ngayon, hindi lang yung reading in that old-fashioned sense, but parang kailangan na ngayon, and this includes math and science, parang yung learning to solve problems. At saka also financial literacy kasama na rin yon, no? So parang sabi mo nga tama, we have to live with the new normal, and ibig sabihin diyan, since we cannot have in-person meetings, kailangan we have to think out of the box. How can we fix it so that we can still have learning for students, using the technology that is available? So marami tayong pwede magawa. At gusto ko palang idagdag lang, no, doon sa study na yon, yung PISA, parang pinakikita that in countries where there is a close connection between the socio-economic status of the 15-year-olds and their performance, kailangan, and that includes the Philippines. Siyempre kung, you belong to the socio-economic groups that are better off, or you can go to private schools, or you have better exposure, no? You have better educational opportunities. So kailangan rito yung intervention. So the less advantaged will have opportunities also. And so I am thinking of thinking out of the box, and this would include, for example, encouraging community learning. Siguro pwedeng tayong maghanap ng mga volunteer teachers in the community, no, na who can go to a barangay hall and teach students, no, na who are still observing social distance. Or else, parang pwede rin siguro parang we require teachers, kasi teachers have to take licensure examinations, no? And it's like MCLE. I think they have to refresh themselves on their skills. And siguro parang pwedeng gawing part of the requirement for that licensure testing, no? To require them to devote a certain number of hours of teaching in the community. Para sa ganon, makakatulong pa rin sila, no? Tapos isa pang naisip ko alam mo noon meron tayong knowledge channel. Meron tayong
TV.
Correct. Gamitin natin yung media. Dapat sana meron tayong dedicated channel na ang ginagawa ay magturo ng practical math, science, no? At saka yung history, literature, parang yung mga sinulat ng mga ating manunulat, no? Gawin nilang plays or maybe kung ano-anong practical ways, animation, ganyan, para matuto pa rin ng students. Kasi para gano'n mabigyan ng mas maraming pagkakataon yung mga hindi makapunta sa klase, na matuto pa rin. At saka isa pang naisip ko, parang siguro pwedeng encourage natin mga estudyante na Hindi pala, isang inisip ko is that yung mga barangay should sign up with the internet providers kasi isang problema nga, sabi mo nga, hirap na hirap kayo, Kiniki. Walang internet, no, sa mga malalayong lugar. So, dapat sana mag-sign up, magkaroon silang MOA para yung mga far-flung areas mabigyan ng internet. At saka maybe yung mga companies can also give students free cellphones. Alam mo, lahat may cellphone na ngayon. Mga nagdi-deliver, mga labandera, mga sa palengke, lahat may cellphone na. No? So, nakaka-Facebook sila sa mga kanilang mga kamag-anak. Andun na yung lahat ng mga pagkakataon na yon, yung technology kailangan lang ibigay. O so, bakit hindi kaya yung mga Globe and Smart, bakit di sila magbigay ng cellphone sa mga estudyante para mga estudyante pwedeng mag-Zoom with the with the teachers na sinasabi ko nga na pwede namang magbigay ng kung ano nung lesson, no? At saka turuan sila ng practical projects. Siguro pwede silang mag-isip ng maliit na business. Naku, in no time at all, matututo silang financial literacy kasi syempre, they have to find ways to sell their products, they have to account for what they earned, etc. No? So baka meron dyan kakanin or atsara or longganisa or whatever in their community na pwede nilang matutunan kasi alam mo yung mga 15-year-olds, resourceful yan. Mga very creative sila. Tsaka baka ang dali-dali nilang makaisip ng maliit na business man lamang para matuto sila ng yung mathematics. Tapos baka naman for science, baka pwede sila mag-isip ng mga projects na may kinalaman sa climate change. Let's say how to stop using plastic or anything like that para lang mas out of the box and we encourage them to really think and solve problems and dahil doon ay mas magiging more literate sila imbes na giving them book knowledge, no, maraming pwedeng matutunan lalo na ngayon limitless na with all the just turned on na matuto mga bata. Yun lang, sana i-direct yung kanilang pinapanood or ginagawa to practical areas, practical things that they need to survive and to thrive and to keep on developing whatever their potential is. Kasi pinakita mo na nga ron sa umpisa, yung halo-halo. Mga Pilipino are so talented. Mga Pilipino are so creative. So, tatanong natin, bakit tayo nandito? So, ibig sabihin, baka we can, change the ways we're doing things. Kasi naaalala ko nun si Regent Fonacher, lagi niyang sasabihin, if if you keep on trying, don't try and try again. Try another method. Kailangan na we try other methods kasi something is wrong.
Actually, isa na yan sa naisip ko na rin, Kasi nung araw sa Paranaque, meron tinatawag na drama group. It was called Kujapi Drama. And siyempre, nung namatay yung proponent, hindi na naipagpatuloy. Sabi ko, many years after, yung mga naka-experience sa magandang sa community, para bang barnyard theater sa abroad, nakapanood ako ng mga theater groups na nandun lang sila sa parang warehouse sa isang lugar na yung creative talents ng mga bata ay nanga-harness. So, katulad kayo sa La Vista, I am sure yung mga bata dyan, lalo na yung mga apo mo, pwedeng maging grupo na magpapakita ng talent sila even in this present condition kung hindi naman ganun karami. In fact, ako sa aking place, I have a gallery. I'm now developing it para maging sacred sacred place para pwedeng mag-meeting mga 14 people with distancing na magkaroon ka rin ng gathering pero following the protocol. So, sabi ko, naiisip ko na rin yun and I hope pwede kong ma-launch sa mga darating na events natin dito. But at the same time, nakita ko din yung raising the awareness of the Filipinos na marami naman talagang may ginagawa ngayon. Pero ang kulang siguro yung productivity noon. Is it going to make you earn a little better or is it going to put food on the table? Siguro I'm speaking like a social worker na hindi dapat lahat ay ayuda. Kasi pag
Correct.
nasanay sa ayuda, nakasandal na lang sa pader at parang maghihintay na lang. And I think yun din ang nakakasira sa kultura natin na ang feeling bigay-bigay lahat. I think responsibility din yung mga naman may kaya na tumulong sa komunidad nila na para sila makatulong. And I think yung konsepto ng barangganic approach talagang maganda yan in all aspects. Education, social responsibility, makatutulong. Pero ang realidad talaga, sobrang maraming mahihirap sa atin. At this pandemic has in fact lumawak lalo. Kasi palagi ko kinukwento, nung ako Secretary of Social Welfare, 52 million lang ang population. Ngayon, 110 million. Ang the other 10 to 12 million nasa abroad. So kung titingnan mo ang population, talagang hindi masusuporta ng, lalo na kung ang gobyerno ay hindi ginagawa yung kanilang tungkulin. Meron pa tayong 10 minutes. Reymund, may comment ka sa pinaliwanag ni Georgie?
Nasagot ko ba yung tanong mo, Raymond?
Opo, Doctor. Actually, maganda po yung isinadjust ninyo, no? Na community learning, no? Kasi kung may limitasyon sa connectivity at hindi lahat ng bahagi ng Pilipinas ay may kakayanan, no? Katulad ng mga pribadong paaralan sa Maynila, may tatawid natin ang hamon ng COVID-19 at iba pang mga viruses, wag naman na sanang dumating, through community learning, no? So, ang ganda po ng konsepto ninyo na ang barangay kapitan, ang kapitan ng barangay, ang mga pamilya, ang ang mga magulang sa anak, di ba? Ang mga social worker, ang mga teachers, ganun, ay magsasama-sama para maitawid o mabuo ang isang kalidad na edukasyon sa kabila ng ating limitasyon. Tatandaan po namin yan, Doc, yung suggestion nyo po, no? Na community learning, hindi lang naman through connectivity po o wifi tayo pwedeng matuto. Ano po, mukhang kailangan na po talagang mag-pull ng iba't ibang resources, no? Para masiguradong hindi na de-deprive ang mga bata ng edukasyon. Pero alam po, Doc, kanina sinasabi nyo na yung mga teachers yung let. Alam mo po ang nakakalungkot, Doc, ngayon?
Oo.
Sa datos na ibinigay po ni Senator Win Gatchalian sa isang education summit, no, na kung saan ay aming inorganize, mababa po ang rate ng pumapasa sa let, no? Doon po sa datos na nakita namin, na pinakita, kung di po ako nagkakamali, I might be stand corrected, no? Parang out of those 600 po yata sa history, parang 300 po o close to 300 yung pumapasa, no? So, ang aking pong palagay, yun po ang gusto ko rin itanong sa inyo, Doc, no? Kung ang let ang pamantayan ng pagiging magaling na guro, ang ibig bang sabihin nito, ang kalahati halos, ang lampas ng konti sa kalahating nagtitake ng board for teaching are not really qualified to teach kung let po basihan, no?
Oo.
Ito po ang inyong reaction dito, ma'am, no? Yung ganitong datos.
Oo. Nakakabahala yan. Alam mo, sa tingin ko, kasi I'm really a believer in education, dapat malaki ang budget natin sa education. At saka, we should give teachers all the incentives and support they need to further develop their abilities. At saka, to be able to experiment, to get exposure to, other ways of teaching. And that means that they must get decent salaries. They must be paid well. We shouldn't pay military more than we pay the teachers. Kasi ang investment natin must be in education. Kasi talagang yung education is where it all begins. Parang that is where all our manpower, our professionals, our thinkers, our creative artists, it starts with their getting the education, and therefore they need teachers who are also well prepared for their tasks, no? Kung ang dami-dami naman nilang ang mga estudyante nila, napakarami, ang lalaki ng klase. Tapos they have to handle so many subjects. Tapos di ba noon ginagamit pa yung mga teachers for elections, parang ang dami-dami nilang tasks. Siguro dapat bigyan sila ng, well, as I said, better salaries, at saka tapos siguro, bigyan silang laptops, bigyan silang incentives to join some conferences or webinars. Ang dami-dami ng webinars ngayon. Pwede ka nga mag-enroll sa kung ano nung klase, eskwela abroad for whatever you are interested in. Baka yung mga teachers should be given incentives to attend those occasions, ano. At saka may yung ganon, parang kasi kung ano na lang, parang iiwan na lang, hindi na lang sila asikasuhin, mahirap kasi they are the ones who are directly in touch with the students. So dapat rin tumataas rin yung capabilities nila.
Correct. Kaya ngayon, ang nakikita ko pa, kasi nga pinag-usapan natin yung, ang gusto natin yung hope for the future, ano gusto nating makita. Of course, we're facing another exercise. Ang tawag ko dito, exercise, ng political exercise sa 2022. And I am concerned that right now, parang hindi, ang mga tao hindi pa nag-iisip what kind of a leader do we want to have. Miski man lang mapag-usapan, kahit man lang criteria kung anong dapat na hinahanap natin, makatutulong na ma-discuss. Kasi para bang dikahon na ngayon na kung sino yung dati, yung pa rin, parang ganon. Kailangan talagang tingnan natin sino talagang may nagawa, sino anong na-expect natin para gumanda ang takbo ng ating pamahalaan. Because you started by saying good governance. Ang measure sa akin ng good governance talaga, ang mga less ang mahihirap, ikalawa, konti na lang ang may sakit kasi natutugunan. And number 3 talaga, yung employment at saka yung productivity. Kasi kasama natin dito yung education at the 3 levels Kasi kapag bakit mahirap, talagang hindi nakapag-aral, walang education. At number 2, bakit nakakasakit dahil hindi sumusunod sa kumbaga protocol kaya nakakasakit. And finally, yung talagang hanap buhay. Because pag ang isang bansa ay hindi tinitingnan ng hanap buhay na para umadvance ang kanilang bansa, we will forever be poor o bumabagsak na tayo because we used to be second to Japan as the most developed country in the 50s and 60s. Pero naging kulelat na tayo dito sa ASEAN. So maybe at the end, kasi medyo we have very little time na, gusto ko lang sabihin ng prescription mo for what is left of us dito sa pandemya, and then what do you want to see in 2022?
Well, dito sa pandemic, nagdadasal ako.
Okay.
That, parang sana magkaisa na tayong lahat, especially our leaders, sa pag-address nitong COVID. Kasi napakaseryoso nitong problem na to, So dapat get our act together, Hindi dapat, our performance here was described by a UK columnist as shambolic, meaning to say chaotic, sana naman I don't know bakit huli tayo. Maski Bangladesh, nauna pa sa atin, Vietnam, Cambodia, those are poor countries. Or Vietnam, parang, it went through several wars, and yet its performance is better than ours. So, sana, we get together, forget politics, and really solve this COVID. End it. Because parang, unless we take very deliberate approach, or maybe even change our approach, we will not solve it, So parang that's one. Everything that we do now should be addressed to COVID and ending that pandemic. And then secondly, with respect to 2022, kailangan turuan natin mga tao to think also for themselves. Sabi mo nga, hindi ayuda ng ayuda, kundi mag-isip rin sila, ano bang ikabubuti ng bayan. No? So pumili tayo ng mga leaders na makakatulong sa atin, wag nang recycled, no? But nakakakita naman tayo ng mga leaders who are innovative, sa Manila, sa Pasig, no? Sa mga iba-ibang mga ibang
Yes.
nakikita natin, there are mayors
Yeah.
who've been able to be innovative. So alam natin na meron namang young blood na ganon. So tignan na natin kung sino ba ang pwedeng maging leaders natin in 2022 kasi meron rin tayong responsibility. Hindi lang tayo dapat parang magreklamo kasi a government is there by the people, for the people, and of the people. And we cannot shirk that responsibility. So, ang dinadasal ko lang ay na we can produce a more enlightened voting citizenry para naman we can do something about our situation and we can prosper and be the progressive country that we were destined to be.
Paano tayo? Yeah. Raymond, your take? Patapos na tayo.
After listening to Dr. Encanto, no, meron ho akong naisip, no, kasi lagi na lang natin nananawagan sa mga mamamayan na sa pagboto isipin ng tama. Siguro ho, ibahin ko naman po ngayon. Doon po naman sa mga tatakbo na sa palagay ninyo ay wala naman ho talaga yung kakayanan at hindi naman ho talaga kayo committed, no? Ay ating pong pag-isipan. Kasi pag ho tayo nanalo nang hindi po tayo ready, ay marami pong mga tao sa ilalim ng ating liderato at kapangyarihan ang magsasakripisyo. I guess serving the government and being part of the public service is a call. It's a commitment. It should not be an accident that one will become members of the Philippine government. Kaya ang aking pong panawagan, siguraduhin po ng mga tatakbo bago po sila mag-file ng candidacy, no, na may panawagan galing sa Diyos at nararamdaman nila ang panawagan ng bayan at ang kanilang calling na sila ay para dito. At para po kay Dr. Encanto, maraming salamat po sa inyong inspirasyon. Ang inyong pong pagdalo ngayong hapon ay nagbibigay ng very positive outlook kahit nasa gitna tayo ng ganitong pandemya. Pagpalakas po kayo lagi at nang kayo po lagi namin makandiig sa ganitong programa. Maraming pong salamat, Dr. Encanto.
Thank you very much, Dolph. Thank you very much, Raymond. I was going to say, kasi si Dolphy tinanong siya, bakit di ka tumakbo? You're so popular. And ang sinagot niya, sorry, I'm using an example of my generation na nang kilala namin. Ang sagot ni Dolphy, sabi ni Dolphy, ay, baka ako manalo eh. Alam niya na he was an actor. So dapat dun siya at wag na siyang pumasok sa politika. So parang gusto ko lang sana sabihin na Raymond and Cora, ang ganda-ganda ng ginagawa nyo, I'm in mass comm and kitang-kita ko na pareho kayong cool. Sanay na sanay kayo. Biro mo ngayon lang ako nakakita ng si Cora parang sanay na nanonood pa shortly before the program. And si Raymond, hindi pa nga nakakapark, nanunumpa na inside the car. Ngayon na ako nakakita ng ganyan. So I'm really so impressed with the way you are conducting your program. Maganda and inspiring. Ipatuloy niyo.
Thank you. Kaya ito naman poem na to ay para din sa'yo. Rabindranath Tagore wrote this, where mind is without fear and head held high, where the world has not been broken to fragments by narrow domestic walls, where tireless striving stretch their arms towards perfection, where the mind is led forward to thee, into ever-widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country away. So, ginising mo talaga yung bayan natin sa mga komentaryo mo at yung final words ko ay yung kay Edward Hale na favorite ko din. I am only one, but I am one. I cannot do everything, but I can do something. And what I can do, I ought to do. And by the grace of God, I will do. Maraming salamat. Picture taking.
Thank you, Ray.